Now, with a constant flow of devastating images coming from Texas, folks around the country are stepping up to help. But News on 6's Katira Winfrey found out that the influx of donations is called the disaster after the disaster. Katira?
If you stop and think about it, there are a lot of donations. You have semis, trucks, and cars packed down with stuff headed to the Gulf Coast. And disaster officials say this early after an incident, they're still trying to determine what they really need. When tragedy strikes, Americans have no problem stepping up to help.
The thing is, you have to know the right way to do it.
You can see it as case after case of water, clothing, cleaning items, and so much more is loaded into trucks to be hauled away to the Gulf Coast.
And the things that are being given immediately after the disaster are things that end up actually having to go to other organizations.
It's a thoughtful gesture and is appreciated, but too much of a good thing often proves to be too much after a disaster. The influx inundates cities and shelters, shifting concern from the people to the donations.
In the emergency management field, they call it the disaster after the disaster, where there's all this stuff that shows up that has to be organized, categorized.
Tim Lovell works with the Disaster Resilience Network. He, along with FEMA, the Red Cross, and a long list of other groups, say giving money is the best way to help.
Cash first, particularly right after the disaster.
If your group has started a donation collection, it's okay, but before heading out, check with the national voluntary organizations active in disaster to find specific locations that actually need what you have.
You want what you give to be used.
And donations after a disaster start to dwindle a few months in, so it's important to remember that it is never too late to give. Reporting live on the scene on the story in Tulsa, Katira Winfrey, News on 6.